started to give some sort of paranormal kind of fears or concerns, like that was going to be the twist or the reason. It is time for my Christian review of regular books and no spoiler review of Lock Every Door by Riley Sager. For those of you who haven't seen one of these videos before, here's how it's gonna go down. First, I do my regular review, what you know and love to expect from a book review, plus my own personal opinion, star rating, etc. But then I get into my Christian review, and that's where I go over basic pieces of a book that may or may not have a fellow believer or really anyone wanting to read it. I do give more information about these Christian reviews at the video that's pinned at the top of the playlist and gives all the details you may need. But also there should be a tag somewhere. So click there if you're wanting more info. If you are still here and you didn't click on over there, I also want to remind you to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can stay up to date on all of these Christian reviews, which are coming out all the time, plus my mom's and my podcast, which is The Journey We Share. But for now, let's go ahead and get into my regular review. Lock Every Door by Riley Sager was the first Riley Sager book that I picked up, and I had been getting used to Frida McFadden thrillers, and so I knew kind of the experience and the flow and how it was going to go, and so I was very surprised and exhilarated by my experience with Riley Sager's book. Now, I really enjoyed the ending of this book. However, when you go back and look at reviews of other people, a lot of people didn't like how this book ended. I felt like it was fast-paced and interesting. It kept me engaged. I read it so fast. For me, I had usually taken 2 to 3 days to read a book, but when I picked up this one, I read it in about a day and a half. I just could not put it down. It was either in my ears or with my eyes at all times because I was so invested in it. And I really did love how Riley Sager took us on this adventure. Now, I will say that about halfway through this book, it started to give some sort of paranormal kind of fears or concerns, like that was going to be the twist or the reason. And I will get more into that in my Christian review if you're wanting more detail about it. But I ultimately still enjoyed this book and what it was, and I rated it 4 stars. Now let's go ahead and get into my Christian review. Please don't forget to follow me on Goodreads, where you can see what I'm reading and rating in real time, all the time, because I post that place like it's my job. I'm also on Instagram and on TikTok, and I do actually have my own YouTube channel, so if you want to see more of the day-to-day of what I'm reading, you can go check it out there. Also, please know that we don't want to end the conversation here, so make sure to leave a comment down below of what you think of this book, or send us an email at hello@trokia.org. The first category I always touch on no matter what is smut or spice, and no, there is no smut or spice in this book. It was totally clean, so that was a win. The second category is if there's any violence or gore. Now, again, I was a Frida girl up until this point. I had read a lot of Frida McFadden, and she doesn't write that much gore. However, when I read this book, there were a few scenes that I was like, man, if that was a movie and that was happening, that would be implicitly gory, like kind of borderline horror. So if gore is not for you, if you really visualize what is happening with gore and things like that, this is definitely not the book for you. Lastly, I did talk about this in my regular review, and I just want to briefly touch on it again, and that is if there's any paranormal activity. This may come across as a bit of a spoiler, so if you are not wanting to know that, you can go ahead and skip past this and just go to the age range if that's what's important for you. However, if you are wanting to know, there is no paranormal twist within this. However, there's a fair bit of them kind of making it seem like that could be the twist. So if you don't even want to read a book where that's kind of part of it, then skip past it. If you are okay with knowing as long as the twist isn't paranormal, then you're okay with reading it. There is nothing paranormal in this twist. The age range that is appropriate for this book is probably 16 and up, for nothing else other than the amount of gore in some later parts of the book. However, I think that the overall storyline is so interesting and engaging. I think a teenager would probably love it. As always, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you can stay up to date in everything that we're doing and posting on our channel all the time. Also, please don't forget to send us an email at hello@trokia.org or leave a comment down below. We would love to continue on this conversation, and I cannot wait to see you on the next one.